I want to talk about something else. We're getting low on time here, but something people need to be watching out for. This is happening right now in Baltimore, but it's happening around the country as well. There is a concerted effort to shut down the crisis pregnancy centers in this country.
They're taking their money. They're taking abortions.
Right, that's right. They take money out of the abortion industry's pocket.
And they outnumber the abortion clinics 4 to 1 in America, at least 4 to 1.
Well, and Troy, as you know, you travel a lot more than I do. In some parts of the country, vast parts of the country, the only pro-life presence there is the CPC.
Yes.
They don't have a local pro-life group or whatever.
Sidewalk counselors or a protest group or anything.
All they have is a CPC.
Right.
And I think that the abortion lobby knows if we can take out the CPCs, then we can silence the pro-life message in vast parts of the United States, which is a fact. But they're going after them now, saying things like they can't do sonograms and
bogus health clinics.
Bogus health clinics and passing. Now this thing in Baltimore, they're going to have to put up a sign saying that they don't do abortions.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's like you go to a car dealership and they say, here, you have to read our sign before we can sell you a car. It says, we don't do dog grooming.
This is so hilarious. The people that call themselves pro-choice, say, this place does not offer you a choice. It's ridiculous. The abortion clinic should have the sign, we only kill your baby. Right. That's it.
Right.
You know, if you really want to have a choice, go down to the crisis pregnancy center. Right. So the very people, I mean, it's hypocrisy at its nth degree.
Right. But they don't care about it being hypocritical.
They just want to shut them down so all those girls go to their doors.
Right, exactly. And one thing I'm going to suggest to these people in Baltimore, I'm going to talk to some of the CPC directors. If this thing passes, this is a city ordinance, if it passes, I suggest that they put up a sign on the front door that just lists all the things they don't do and just put abortion as one of those things.
There you go. But see,
we don't do dog grooming, we don't sell cars, we don't do this, we won't cut your grass.
You're thinking smart, you're aggressive, and you stood against tyranny and oppression for years. The problem is, and we've seen this across the country, a lot of these crisis pregnancy centers are staffed by people who have just never really been in the pro-life movement very long. They don't have a big legal support team. They've never been sued before. And so the instant these things come up, they capitulate instantly.
And we saw this
in San Diego. At the very threat of a lawsuit from Planned Parenthood, they put on all their letterhead, and I won't mention the name of the person that did this, we don't do abortions, we only counsel against abortion, we're a Christian organization, and they said, we won't show you any graphic images.
Oh. Right.
Just the threat of a lawsuit. Right. I say bring the lawsuits on, but
right, exactly.
These people don't.
Keep telling the truth and keep telling what's going on.
The people need to stand up for their freedom of expression and freedom of free speech. And when somebody's going to try to shut you down and say, you can't say this and this is what you got to say, I say sue them.
Well, first, what these guys need to understand, too, at these crisis pregnancy centers, is that free speech doesn't mean just that the government can't tell you what not to say. It also means the government can't tell you what to say.
Exactly.
That's also a violation of free speech. And to sit here and say that you've got to put up a sign on the front of this business that says we don't do abortions, I mean, it's unbelievable. And these people who are pushing this have no morals. They have no conscience. And basically it's anti-American. And I think they look at things.
I tell you about the CPCs in Baltimore. They need to be aggressive. I'm serious. They need to just turn around and sue the pants off the people and they need to find the person whoever introduced that ordinance. Yeah. Zero in on that particular person.
Well, they know the woman that's on the city council that introduced it.
That's the woman that need to be sued.
Right.
I'm serious.
They need to camp out at her office and make this woman's life hell on earth until they pull this out. Because if you allow this to happen in Baltimore, what's going to happen is other CPCs around the country are going to say, oh, they're going to come after us. We better put up a sign right now.
Right.
Or close down.
Or close down or do something. We don't want to get sued. And you need to quit being worried about being sued. You know, we've been sued one time since Life Dynamics has been open. Now, before I opened it and I told people what kind of organization we were going to be, I had pro-life leaders tell me, you're going to be sued every month. They're going to sue you out of business. Well, and we opened up in 1992. We've been sued one time, and it was the best thing that ever happened to us. Absolutely the best thing that ever happened to us.
That's kept me involved in the pro-life movement.
Right.
Planned Parenthood.
Once, but I didn't have enough money, so they decided they didn't want me after all.
Didn't have anything to
Most times lawsuits are bluster.
Right, exactly.
Just tell them to go pound sand, and I'll see you in court.
See you in
And it
court.
costs them thousands and thousands of dollars to prosecute these lawsuits. And in the end,
This
They usually
abortionist
just go
in Fort
away.
Worth sued us over us outing him as an abortionist.
Good for you.
It cost him over $45,000, and he had to drop the suit.
Yes.
You mean
And it didn't cost us a nickel.
y'all said you just told what the guy did?
Yeah, and he sued us.
That's why I got sued.
And they sent us to, they sent us to arbitration, and it lasted all day. It was probably the most entertaining and enjoyable day I've ever spent. And Ed, our attorney at that time, we just sat there, and it was so funny because the guy knew his suit was basically, so there was nothing to it. But it wound up costing him $45,000 in legal fees. They hired this high-dollar lawyer's office in Dallas with all these SMU law school graduates. And it was so funny, and we loved it. And the guy wound up spending $45,000, agreeing never to do another abortion the rest of his life, and it didn't cost us anything.
Awesome. Bring it on, right?
But the problem is, very often what happens with pro-life people, and especially this is at CPCs, we're not picking on them, but they tend to be non-confrontational, nice.
They're mercy oriented. They're
Right.
here to help. They're
Right.
not to be aggressive. They're not protest groups.
And they get a letter in the mail from an attorney, and it scares the life out of them. And
Usually it scares the life out of their board.
right, out of the board, and they don't do anything. A lot more we could get to, but we just don't have time. But I want to encourage these CPCs because you're going to be attacked. We've talked about it here before. The closer we get to winning, and we are getting closer to winning, the more vicious and nasty these people are going to become. And so just everybody get ready for it. It's going to happen. Don't worry about it.
There's legal help out there. There's
Right.
support groups out there. We will help you the best we can.
Right, exactly.